Makeover by many of its members. That comes up in news this morning. The National 4-H is embarking on a new initiative, and the local 4-H extension, or local University of Illinois extension, is helping make it happen. And a local lawmaker is offering an update on the sequestration efforts under the Mahomet Aquifer. Those stories come up in news on this Tuesday. Still to come in sports later in the hour around 7:30, the spring sports season opened on Monday. Plenty of local high school and girls softball action, high school baseball and girls softball action from Monday, including Clinton falling to Delavan in high school boys baseball action. Softball, Clinton and Monticello were winners yesterday. Again, those stories coming up in sports later this morning. But first, we stream to Facebook and YouTube, brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin insurance agent in Clinton. Members of the Clinton YMCA who regularly use or enjoy using the Wellness Center are excited about some changes coming this week. On the WHOW Morning Show Monday, Clinton Y Executive Director Rennie Kluver told Regional Radio he and the Y Board view the new equipment coming this week as a thank you to its membership. The anticipated new equipment is scheduled to arrive Thursday.
Yeah, so a couple of items that I'm excited about for me personally to use is there's going to be a pull-up assist machine, which if anybody pull-ups are great, but a lot of people are deterred from doing them because they're so tough. You know, if you can't do one, well, why would I want to try to do two? This assist will allow you to build up your stamina, I guess, if you want to say, on your strength and pull-ups to where, you know, maybe the first day you get on that machine, it basically helps you do the pull-up, and then you can always adjust the weight that's allowed. And so I think that's going to be a great addition. We don't have anything like that, so I think that will be helpful. We have a hack squat machine. We're going to keep the leg press machine, the Techno Gym leg press machine. That's been a great piece of equipment in great shape still. But so adding a hack squat.
There are pieces of equipment that will be brand new that Kluver's also excited about, but he notes there are going to be a lot of new things that anyone who uses the Wellness Center should find beneficial.
I had come to a board meeting. This has been, maybe it was last month, a couple months ago. Had set up a time for our Life Fitness, or Johnson Fitness is who our rep is with our equipment, to come to the Y and look at a couple options of getting some new equipment. One of them being that lat pull down. And then we were looking at trading out some of the cardio for some different pieces. Our board meeting was on Wednesday when I was telling them, and Thursday, the next day, was when the rep was supposed to come. And the board had a couple board members that had talked about, you know, what would it look like to do a little bit more. And we had talked, I say every year, but in years past, one of our discussions at the board is how to set up an revolving rotation. You know, we need to set aside X amount of capital every year to either improve some of the equipment or change it out completely, or just because that's just what the majority of majority of gyms have. You know, every 4 or 5 years, you're getting new equipment because it just gets its use. And we've been fortunate that our equipment, we keep it in really good shape. Yeah, so a couple of items that I'm excited about for me personally to use is there's going to be a pull-up assist machine, which if anybody pull-ups are great, but a lot of people are deterred from doing them because they're so tough. You know, if you can't do one, well, why would I want to try to do two? This assist will allow you to build up your stamina, I guess, if you want to say, on your strength and pull-ups to where, you know, maybe the first day you get on that machine, it basically helps you do the pull-up, and then you can always adjust the weight that's allowed. And so I think that's going to be a great addition. We don't have anything like that.
The genesis of this makeover started with a simple upgrade of a couple other pieces of equipment in the Wellness Center. However, the Y Board encouraged Kluver to explore what the cost would be to upgrade much more.
I had come to a board meeting. This has been maybe it was last month, a couple months ago, had set up a time for our Life Fitness, or Johnson Fitness is who our rep is with our equipment, to come to the Y and look at a couple options of getting some new equipment. One of them being that lat pull down. And then we were looking at trading out some of the cardio for some different pieces. Our board meeting was on Wednesday when I was telling them, and Thursday, the next day, was when the rep was supposed to come. And the board had a couple board members that had talked about, what would it look like to do a little bit more. And we had talked, I say every year, but in years past, one of our discussions at the board is how to set up an revolving rotation. We need to set aside X amount of capital every year to either improve some of the equipment or change it out completely, or just because that's just what the majority of majority of gyms have. Every 4 or 5 years you're getting new equipment because it just gets its use. And we've been fortunate that our equipment, we keep it in really good shape, and so that we've probably gotten more years out of it than most places would. So it was brought up, and I said, well, you know what? The rep's coming tomorrow. I will ask him. And so the rep came on Thursday. I showed him the 2 pieces that I wanted to switch out, and I said, hey, on a bonus here, I want you to give me an idea of what it would look to change out all the equipment. And so we walked around and talked about, well, we'll keep this, and a couple emails back and forth and some ideas. And he put together a quote list, and I presented it to the board, and we're like, that's a big investment, but it's an investment in our membership. And so I was very proud of the board. I didn't have anybody we had some good questions from board members, but didn't have anybody that saw it as a waste of funds for the Y, that it's a reinvestment. And so anytime you can get a chance to reinvest into yourself and reinvest in your membership, we're in a good place.
Among other upgrades of equipment, Kluver notes they will have some machines that combine 2 exercises into 1 piece of equipment, as well as much better versions of equipment already in the Wellness Center.
One thing that I think we're going to find out is the Vision equipment, which is what the name of most of it is. And maybe we talked about this before, but right now in the Wellness Center, we have a machine that will do bicep curls. And then right next to it or across the way is a machine that does the tricep push downs. Well, Vision has a machine that incorporates both of those. And so it's going to save some space for us to rearrange the Wellness Center and make it more accommodating to some of these new pieces of equipment. So I'm excited to see. Those are just some of the things. We're going to get new plates. We are getting some different plates, new plates for deadlift, and you'll be able to visually see those because they'll be a different color to allow people to deadlift. And it's just a cushion type plate that allows you to, I don't want to say drop it, but that's what it's there for.
The new equipment has been much anticipated by Y membership. Kluver reminds the Wellness Center will be closed for most of the day Thursday as the company is taking out old equipment for the new. 17 minutes after 7 o'clock is news time on this Tuesday. Still to come this morning, a local lawmaker updates on the sequestration efforts under the Mahomet Aquifer. And still to come in sports, it was a busy opening day for the spring high school sports season. Recaps of Clinton Maroons baseball and girls softball action in sports, as well as Monticello softball, Maroa Forsyth baseball, and much more. Again, at around 7:30 in sports. 4-H is starting a new initiative at the national level to keep up with changing times. Henry Kraft is a 4-H youth development educator at the University of Illinois Extension for DeWitt, Macon, and Piatt counties, and explains the Beyond Ready initiative is built to prepare students for jobs of the future.
So nationally, 4-H has been around for 100 years.
Right.
It's been around, and people know about it. And like any organization, as you grow and age, you have to adapt and evolve. And so one of the things that National 4-H is taken by the horns is to really stay relevant. And so one of our initiatives, our new flagship initiative, is called Beyond Ready. So Beyond Ready is an effort to really keep our kids 4-H is about developing ready youth for their future. Beyond Ready is just saying, hey, we're doing that really well. We want to keep ahead of it. Because like we were talking about before the show, one of the things that 4-H has identified is the need to develop youth in some of those fields that don't even exist.
Right.
So artificial intelligence, we're talking about it all the time. I mean, the ag community is using it in a lot of different ways.
Yeah.
And we want to make sure that our youth are ready to enter that ag workforce, to enter the workforce in general. And so artificial intelligence, one of the crazy things that I have learned in our time prepping for Beyond Ready is that nearly half of the jobs that our youth are going to be entering haven't even been created yet.
One question that may come up is, how do you prepare for unknown industries? Kraft states they are starting by teaching students basic skills that can be built upon.
One of the things that we really focus on is this idea of teaching those base skills, so the building blocks. So 4-H has had a focus on STEM for a long time, teaching youth those science and math skills, technology skills that are core, that the workforce community is building AI off of.
Yeah.
So artificial intelligence is building off of. And so one of the things that they're doing is really, we're creating lifelong learners. I mean, that's what 4-H is about, is giving youth an opportunity to learn, get their hands dirty in that learning, and really hands-on have experiences. And they do that in ways that teach those core skills. So all of our project areas are a core skill, and you can build off of those. So when we start talking about artificial intelligence, which we don't even see the landscape for at this point. We know, Musk is, creating stuff, and we've got all these other guys trying to get to the forefront of AI. Well, we're teaching the building blocks so we can have kids be ready for that. And one of the other things with Beyond Ready is this career development.
Yeah.
And so we do a lot with career development with programs like Welcome to the Real World, Ready for Work. These are all state signature programs that we do all the time with 4-H. And so we're teaching youth not only those technical skills, but also the ability to go out and get that job.
From a national perspective, 4-H has a goal of reaching 10 million youth by 2030. Kraft explains in Illinois they want to reach that goal by getting 415,000 of those students.
So actually, National 4-H has a goal of reaching 10 million youth by 2030. And, Illinois got a slice of that pie, and we are looking to reach 415,000 youth in the state of Illinois, which is just under half, or just under double of what we currently do. So we've got a big goal ahead of us, a really strong heading, and I think we're gonna blow that out of the water. Honestly, it's
definitely
pure confidence. So, I mean, for recruitment, DeWitt, Macon, and Piatt County have a rich history with 4-H, right?
Yeah.
And so we have just been really investing into the different ways that 4-H can reach youth. And so we've got our traditional club programs. And in DeWitt County, in case y'all didn't know this, membership has been paid for every interested youth in 4-H. And we've been sharing that widely. And that's specifically in DeWitt County. The DeWitt County 4-H Foundation opted to pay for everybody's memberships, which was fantastic.
Right.
It was really cool. And so, different counties have different foundation processes, but I mean, that's one of our ways to really invest in that way. And so membership is always something that we're talking about. We invest in our clubs so they can really recruit new members. And then, 4-H is just, it's everywhere. I mean, people who don't know about it, you've been living somewhere dark and wet.
Find out more about 4-H in DeWitt, Macon, and Piatt counties by visiting extension.illinois.edu/DMP. 22 minutes after 7 o'clock on this Tuesday. Coming up in sports on this Tuesday morning. Again, spring baseball and softball sports seasons kicked off on Monday. Clinton fell to Delavan in boys baseball action. Lady Maroons down to Decatur Eisenhower in girls softball action. Monticello was a winner in girls softball yesterday. Other winners in local baseball, Shelbyville walked off Maroa Forsyth, and Normal West took down Morton in baseball action. Other softball football action from yesterday. Central A&M walked off Argenta-Oriena, and Pleasant Plains held off Hayworth. Those recaps come up in sports here in just a bit on the morning show. Carbon dioxide sequestration under the Mahomet Aquifer is the latest issue to embroil the primary drinking source for nearly a million Central Illinoisans. State Senator Chapin Rose says the idea of carbon dioxide sequestration is too much of an unknown to jeopardize the Mahomet Aquifer.
They claim to be green. They're green all day long. We're saving the environment, right? And then what do they do to our Mahomet Aquifer? They pass a bill that J.B. Pritzker cuts the deal behind closed doors. No one sees it. It shows up out of thin blue air on Memorial Day weekend when everyone's at home with their families barbecuing. Here comes this bill to allow carbon sequestration under our aquifer, in our aquifer, okay, carbon dioxide to be pulled out of the air in the name of saving the environment. They're going to put it in our water, where if it escapes, like exactly what happened in Champaign County 10 years ago with People's Gas, a natural gas leak, if it escapes into your water, it converts to carbonic acid, which is really nasty stuff that ends up making it, well, it's not just carbonic acid. It's actually carbonic acid is then going to release arsenic and other toxic metals into your water. But these guys claim all day long, again, the press release for president, the presidential ambition plane, I'm an environmentalist. I'm green. I'm saving the climate. And they're saving the climate by poisoning our water. I mean, these people are the biggest bunch of phonies on the earth.
The Mahomet Republican says the event where the governor signed the sequestration legislation into law later revealed the ADM site was leaking.
No, I mean, this is the big one right now is stopping this sequestration of carbon under our water. It was, I mean, talk about how, I mean, you could make this stuff up, Seth, but he's got this bill. He's telling us how great he is for the environment. He's gonna sign the bill down at Decatur at Richland on top of the carbon sequestration site that was being run down there at Richland College by ADM, and he's literally signed this bill telling us all how safe it is to store carbon and how this technology is safe and superior, and we have nothing to worry about locally, right? He signed the bill in Decatur, and it turns out, as he was signing the bill, the sequestration center pipe that he was standing on top of was actually leaking. And then he signed the bill in June or July, and we find out in like August or September, oops, look at that. The very same technology you told us was so safe had been leaking the entire time, including when Governor Pritzker signed the bill on top of it. You can't make that stuff up, but
Senator Rose says it remains to be seen how the Trump administration will handle carbon sequestration, but in the meantime, there are several plans for pipelines to Central Illinois for the storage of carbon. 26 minutes after 7 o'clock is news time on this Tuesday. We've got plenty more coming up on the morning show.
We value your trust in us. This is Scott Baum from Baum Chevrolet Buick here in Clinton. Yes, our goal is to earn your trust each and every day. That's why we have prices posted for each car, truck, and SUV, new or used, on our lot, or on our website. Currently, we have a great selection of new and used Silverados priced to move in 1,500, 2,500, or 3,500s. Come see us and all our inventory. Baum Chevrolet Buick. We want to be your trusted transportation option. BaumChevyBuick.com, right from the start.
News time, 27 minutes after 7 o'clock on this Tuesday. Again, I'm Seth Lawrence with you folks today for this expanded local newscast. Illinois Congressman Eric Sorensen voted against the House of Representatives' continuing resolution that temporarily keeps the government funded. The resolution narrowly passed along party lines last week.
Look, in my entire tenure in Congress, we've never passed a budget. It's the job of Congress to pass the budget. When you just kick the funding can down the road, a continuing resolution just means, all right, we're going to agree that we just continue to fund it the way that it was. Okay? And we don't make any changes to the budget at all. That means that there's uncertainty for so many things. Talk to a farmer. A continuing resolution does nothing to assure a farmer that they're actually going to make any money. I talk with so many folks across our district and, even up into the Dakotas, wheat farmers, sugar beet farmers. They're going to grow whatever it means to lose the least amount of money this year. There's no farmer that's expecting to make any money. And so we need a full resolution for the entire year. And I want to make sure it gets done. But, I'll tell you, like this CR that went through, it puts workers in question. Like, I don't know where the funding's going to come from for the Lock and Dam project on the Illinois River. I don't know how the VA is going to continue to be able to serve veterans. I don't know, how we're going to fund, even Medicare, Medicaid, and SNAP benefits. And so now we've got to figure this out, because if this does get through the Senate, get ready for more and more slash and burn tactics.
The CR is expected to be debated by the Senate. News time is 28 minutes after 7 o'clock on this Tuesday. Again, coverage of news brought to you by Baum Chevrolet Buick in Clinton, your Silverado headquarters, and the morning show streams to Facebook and YouTube. Brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. We come up on 7:30 on this Tuesday. A look at network news comes your way. Network sports follows that, and then we've got a look at local sports and a busy day of the opening of the spring high school baseball and softball seasons in central Illinois. Clinton was done in by Delavan, who used a 5-run fourth inning to get by the Maroons, 12-6 in the baseball season opener. Shelbyville used a walk-off 3-run homer to get by Maroa Forsyth. Normal West rode Chase Reinhardt on the mound to a 4-3 win over Morton in boys baseball yesterday. Clinton rolled Decatur Eisenhower 14-1 in girls softball, a game heard on WEZC yesterday. Monticello rallied past Leroy, and Central A&M walked off Argenta Orienta. Those stories in local sports next.
With SRN News, I'm Rich Thomason. Israel says there is no deadline for wrapping up its renewed aerial assault on Hamas targets in the Gaza Strip. Israel resumed bombing runs overnight, Hamas threatening what it calls a death sentence for the remaining Israeli hostages it's holding in Gaza. Federal judge ordering the Trump administration to explain itself why it ignored his order to halt the deportation of suspected members of a violent Venezuelan gang. It was supposed to be a quick visit to the International Space Station, but problems with Boeing's new crew capsule prevented astronauts Bruce Wilmore and Sonny Williams from coming home. Now, after 9 months, they are on their way back, returning aboard a SpaceX capsule. President Trump will talk with Russia's Vladimir Putin by phone today. They'll talk about halting the fighting in Ukraine. Wall Street Dow features down 112 points. More details, srnnews.com.
SalemNow.com. SRN Sports, I'm Bernie Beck. Steph Curry needs a break, and Warriors coach Steve Kerr is going to make it a priority to find some rest for his superstar. 2 games after becoming the first player in NBA history to reach 4,000 three-pointers, and 3 days after his 37th birthday, Curry struggled to find his shooting groove in a 114-105 loss to the undermanned Denver Nuggets. Utah aims to stop its 10-game skid when the Utah Jazz plays Washington. Wednesday's meeting is the first this season for the squads. Utah is 8-26 at home, and Washington is 8-26 on the road. In the NBA Monday, New York beat Miami, Detroit beat New Orleans. We saw in overtime, Houston beat Philadelphia, and also in overtime, Indiana beat Minnesota. Chicago beat Utah, Portland beat Washington, Phoenix beat Toronto, and Sacramento beat Memphis. This is SRN Sports. The Major League Baseball season kicks off Tuesday night at the Tokyo Dome, while Shohei Ohtani and the defending world champion Los Angeles Dodgers face the Chicago Cubs. It's the first of a 2-game series and features 5 Japanese players. Ohtani, Yoshinobu Yamamoto, and rookie Roku Sasaki each pitch for the Dodgers, while the Cubs have outfielder Seiya Suzuki and left-handed pitcher Shota Imanaga. The 2 MLB teams have been in Tokyo for several days, playing exhibition games against 2 Japanese teams. All 4 exhibition games had a capacity crowd of roughly 42,000. A similar atmosphere is expected for the 2 MLB games. The NCAA will abandon a rule that stops athletes from negotiating potentially lucrative endorsement deals before enrolling in a specific college. Tennessee Attorney General Jonathan Skrmetti said as he announced a proposed settlement in a lawsuit over the policy. Skrmetti announced the deal Monday. Roy McIlroy has won the Players' Championship in a 3-hole playoff against J.J. Spawn that lacked any real drama. It was the first Monday finish in 3 years because of a 4-hour rain delay on Sunday. This is SRN Sports.
Time now for a look at sports. I'm Seth Lawrence with this report. A 5-run fourth inning allowed Delavan to get by Clinton 12-6 in non-conference high school boys baseball action. In season-opening play on Monday in Delavan, Clinton used a 4-run third inning to answer a 3-run third by Delavan to tie the score at 4. But the Panthers scored 5 runs in the fourth inning and 3 more in the fifth to open the game up. Delavan was led by Braden Aaronholes, who was 3 for 4 with a double, 3 RBIs, a stolen base, and scored a run. Ninth place hitter Corey Green was 1 for 3 with 3 RBIs. Kelton Nafziger, Wyatt Pearson, Corbin Soldow, and Cameron McCollum drove in runs for Delavan. Pearson was 3 for 4 with a double and a run, 3 runs scored. Brock Wilson led the Maroons offense, finishing 2 for 2 with a double, 3 runs scored, and 2 stolen bases. Jack Manning drove in 3, finishing 1 for 2 with a double. Delavan starts the season 1-0. Clinton is 0-1 and travels to Hayworth this afternoon. Austin Ulmer hit a 3-run home run in the bottom of the 7th inning, and Shelbyville walked off Maroa Forsyth 5-3 in non-conference high school boys baseball season opening action from Shelbyville Monday. Trailing 3-2, back-to-back walks set up Ulmer's heroics on a windy day in Shelbyville. Gunnar Larner's solo homer in the top of the 7th put the Trojans up 3-2. Caden Rose was excellent on the bump for Maroa Forsyth, going 4 innings of shutout ball. He struck out 8, walked 1, and allowed 3 hits. Ace Giles took the loss for the Trojans. Tate Brendenberg finished 2 for 4 for Maroa Forsyth. Larner was 2 for 3, and Mitch Williams drove in a run, while Rose was 1 for 3 with a double. The Trojans start the season 0-1. Shelbyville's 1-0. Maroa Forsyth has a quick turnaround with its home opener against Meridian this afternoon. Normal West opened the spring baseball season with a 4-3 win over Morton in Normal. The Wildcat Chase Reinhardt picked up the win for the Wildcats, going 5 2/3 innings of hitless shutout ball. He walked 1 and struck out 9. The Wildcats picked up a run in the 4th inning on a Torrin DeLary triple, which scored Reagan Williams from first, who was running for Sam McCulley after a leadoff walk. Normal West tacked on 3 more runs in the 6th and held on in the top of the 7th inning as Morton rallied for 3 runs before the Wildcats closed out the game on a ground ball to Cooper Temples. Gage Flaherty picked up the save. McCulley was 1 for 2 with a walk. Brady Hart, Drew Hart, and Gage Flaherty had singles for Normal West. Temples had an RBI bases loaded walk. The Wildcats are 1-0 on the season. They will host Rochester tomorrow afternoon at 4:30. Riley Fentress drove in 4 runs. Olivia Haynes was excellent in circle for Clinton as the Lady Maroons opened the 2025 spring softball season, rolling Decatur Eisenhower 14-1 Monday in Clinton. Haynes struck out 10 across 5 innings of 1-run ball. Fentress was 2 for 3 with a stolen base and 2 runs scored. Peyton McKenzie was 1 for 2 with 3 RBIs. Annalise Thompson was 2 for 3 with a triple and 2 runs scored. Heidi Umble drove in 2 and scored 3 times while going hitless. The Lady Maroons are 1-0 on the season. They host Cerro Gordo on Wednesday. In a game heard on WEZC and online at DeWittDailyNews.com, Monticello fell behind early but rallied in the 5th to beat Leroy 10-7 in the season opener from Monticello High School. Ashley Stiverson led the Lady Sages with 2 runs, 3 hits, and 2 RBIs and was the serve pro of Piatt-DeWitt County's player of the game. Cassidy Stoffel pitched 7 innings and allowed 10 hits while putting up 3 RBIs. Avery Schweitzer had a hit, 2 runs scored, and an RBI. The Lady Panthers were led by Morgan Fleming, who had 2 hits, scored 2 runs, and drove in a run. Lily Long and Chloe Builta allowed 14 hits with a combined 10 strikeouts to 4 walks. Stoffel struck out 7 and walked 1. With the win, the Lady Sages improved to 1-0, while Leroy falls to 0-1. Tune in on March 24th when the Lady Sages softball team takes on Argenta Oriena. First pitch is 4:30 p.m. Hear the action on 95.9 FM WEZC and online at DeWittDailyNews.com. Kylie Sneerly's base hits scored the winning run, and Central A&M walked off Argenta Oriena in a back-and-forth offensive showcase Tuesday in season-opening non-conference softball action in Mawequa. Central A&M scored 6 runs in the second inning to go up 6-2. Each team pushed a run across in the third to make the score 7-3. The Bombers answered with a 4-run fourth inning to tie the score at 7. The Raiders made the score 8-7 with a run in the fourth. They would tack on another in the fifth to go up 9-7, but the Bombers scored 4 runs in the sixth inning to go up 11-9. A&M got a run back in the sixth, setting up the 2-run seventh and Sneerly's walk-off heroics. Kayla McPeak hit a solo home run for the Raiders. McPeak, Sophie Rowe, and Riley Hazelwonder had 3 hits apiece for A&M. Addison Maiden led Argenta Oriena, finishing 3 for 4 with a pair of doubles, 2 RBIs. Gracie Manning was 2 for 4 with a double and 2 RBIs. The Bombers fall to 0-1 on the season, while A&M starts 1-0. Argenta Oriena hosts Williamsville on Wednesday. A 7th-inning rally fell short for Hayworth in a 6-4 loss to Pleasant Plains Tuesday in non-conference season-opening high school softball action Monday in Pleasant Plains. Trailing 6-2, the Lady Hornets got 2 runs in the top of the 7th, but could not get any closer. Emily Rogers led Hayworth, going 2 for 4 with an RBI and a run scored. Natalie Kopp was 2 for 4 with a triple, a run scored, and Grace Steens was 2 for 4. Caden Skinner went the distance for the Lady Cardinals, allowing 4 runs. 1 was earned with 8 strikeouts and permitting 9 hits. Pleasant Plains is 1-0. Hayworth is 0-1. Hayworth travels to Delavan this afternoon. Get sports anytime from your computer or mobile device at DeWittDailyNews.com.
This is staff meteorologist Jennifer Vujicic